Pre-game festivities back in very slow motion, but that was really, really cool when those paratroopers came in to start our day. You heard our voices, now you get to see our faces. Sorry about that. That's Matt Millen. I'm Kevin Kugler. It's great to have you with us today as we get set for the third game of the year for Michigan. Now, this is a very young Michigan team. Another chance for the Wolverines to grow. And when we were talking about this matchup last night, you said it's kind of like David versus Goliath if Goliath were still a teenager.
Yeah, he's still figuring it out. You know, it's a young group. And when you have youth, what you have usually is inexperience. And when you have inexperience, you get inconsistencies. And so what ends up happening is that inconsistency has permeated the entire offense. And it's not all the time. It's just every now and then. And so it affects the young offensive line. It affects the young receivers. And inevitably, it affects your quarterback, regardless of how experienced he is. And so Wilton Speight has been taking a hit here lately. When you go back and watch the tape, there's some things that become very obvious. Number one is he's pushing himself too hard. He wants his group to be starting faster and getting into the action a little bit quicker. And by doing that, he himself has kind of slowed himself down. So all he's going to have to do today is slow himself down, show some consistency, and the rest of the group will follow.
A defense backs him up that is very young but very talented. You almost felt like when they got into the defensive room earlier this year, they would have had to have name tags on just to recognize everybody, and now they've got to face off in game 3 against a tricky option offense.
Kev, you know, here's an interesting thing. They may have needed those name tags for us, not for them. Because let me tell you this right now. By the end of the season, this Michigan defense might be the best in all of college football. It is supremely talented, very athletic. Now, when you're playing a triple option, there's one thing you have to have, and that's discipline. And so youth again with discipline. We're going to see what Don Brown is able to do this week. I love Don Brown, our defensive coordinator. I think this is going to be a fun matchup.
Oh, I think it'll be a really entertaining game. It's a beautiful day for football here, and of course another packed house at Michigan Stadium as we welcome in the third member of our crew joining us on the field throughout the day, Michelle McMahon.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Matt hit it on the head. If there's one thing that defensive coordinator Don Brown brings to this table for defense, it's discipline and it's passion. He told us before the game, matching up against this tricky triple offensive threat, that they are not going to be running that option on defense every time. Look for Mike McCray to be very active in the communication. He'd like them to react on the spot. Additionally, I caught up with one of those young guys that you alluded to at the beginning of the broadcast, Tyree Kennel, who was a secondary star in week 2. He told me that they want to stop the run game early, which means they're going to be on high alert in that secondary, guys.
All right, Michelle, thanks so much. They are going to be keeping their eyes open on all of that activity back there in that secondary. And Jim Harbaugh, when we spoke with him yesterday, he was fired up, not only for this team, but for this game. There's the coach. And as we were talking with him yesterday, I don't know how many times he got up and demonstrated different things for us. I thought one of us, and it would have likely been me, was going to get tackled during that thing.
You know, I think Jim has been reinvigorated by the youth of this team. I think he sees the potential of it. I think he gets excited about it because strip everything away from Jim, he's still a competitive sucker, man. He loves to compete, and he sees that same quality in his young team.
Air Force won the toss. They elected to defer. So Michigan is going to start with the football. Kekoa Crawford waiting deep for the Wolverines. Luke Strable will kick it off for Air Force. Touchback for Michigan. Good kickoff for Strable. And now the Wolverines making their way onto the field. And as Matt mentioned, Wilton Speight has heard his fair share of criticism. Well, at least it's been out there. I'm not sure he's heard it, but when he's at home, he's very much at home. Look at those numbers in home games for Wilton Speight. 16 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Normally, that's going to work for you.
Well, that'll work for you. He just needs to calm down and just go through the fundamentals of his position. He knows what they are. Just keep his mind in the game. He'll be fine.
Crawford to the top of your screen. Tariq Black to the bottom. Speight on first down. Good pocket. Looking up top. Looking for Crawford in the pass. Incomplete. Coverage out there by Robert Bullard, the 5'9" junior corner, and it's second down.
Nice job by Bullard in that coverage. Stayed right on top of it, stayed on the hip where he had to be. Now, the first thing you noticed was that you had Outstanding coverage, and he used the sideline as his help. That's smart, good football.
That's one thing you can normally say when you've got a team like Air Force out there. Smart football usually comes into play. Speight with pressure coming, dumps it to Isaac, and a good open field tackle by Shaquille Vereen. The pressure coming from Garrett Coppola from the secondary. Speight got rid of it, and Vereen made the stop.
Yeah, Coppola came free. Vereen did a really nice job. Open field tackle. And so when you do that, what you have to do is give him something and take something away. Vereen did it perfectly. He gave him the outside. He took the inside away, forced him to go one way, made the tackle. Big third down right here.
Four-man pressure. Speight to the sideline. Tariq Black is there to make the catch and get the first down.
Good coverage, but more important, excellent protection. Speight had a chance to view the field, go back to the left side. Let's see if he gets 1 foot down. There's the control, there's the foot. That's a good catch. There's the control. There's the foot. That's a first.
Michigan going with an extra lineman. Cesar Ruiz, the true freshman, wearing number 96 at the bottom end of that offensive line. Here's Isaac. Big hole. Isaac to the sideline, trying to turn on the speed. Isaac inside the 20, all the way home for the touchdown. I believe as Ty Isaac made his way down there, they're saying he stepped out of bounds at the 30-yard line, Matt. That is not a touchdown. He is out at the 30.
And he's out of breath at the 30 right now, too. Let's see exactly where that foot gets him. Right there. Good call by the official. Look, see the official standing right there. His eyes right on the line. That's a great job of officiating.
On first down from the 18. Speight to Perry, incomplete at the 5. As we check out today's Auto Owners Insurance Impact players.
Well, we've already seen Ty Isaac and what he's capable of, especially when he gets that kind of blocking. Grant Perry has some big plays in him. They'll need that. Grant Ross, watch him, number 44 in the middle of that defense. Very active. Good tackle.
2nd and 10 at the 18. Karan Higdon with the carry. Not much room this time up the middle to the 16. Santo Coppola, big man on the end, was there to crash down and make the play.
Yeah, so remember I told you, it's feast or famine sometimes with this defense, and here's why. You're going to watch all these guys blitzing. See all the inside here? And so they're taking away, and they're covering every single gap. So you're going to have to get 8 men up into the line of scrimmage. And sometimes that works, like right there, and sometimes they gash you.
It's been a struggle early in the year for Michigan in the red zone. Now a 3rd and 9 at the 17. Speight with backside pressure coming. Hit as he throws for Perry, a little too tall, and it's incomplete. Matt Evans was right on the doorstep of Wilton Speight as he got rid of that one. And once again, Michigan bogs down inside the 20-yard line and has to try a field goal. They've had 7 trips now to the red zone, Matt, only 1 touchdown.
Well, Evans came clean. That needs to be accounted for. It wasn't accounted for. Speight felt it. He brushed himself a little bit, and that result is his field goal attempt.
Quinn Nordine, 35-yard try. And Nordine gives Michigan the 3-0 lead. By a toenail, they missed a touchdown on the sidelines. They'll settle for 3. Here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, as we get your football Saturday underway. James Fogue ready to kick it off. 6 of his 7 kickoffs were touchbacks a week ago. This one hanging up a bit for McVay from the 3-yard line. McVay to the 15, and McVay not going to get to the 20-yard line. Good coverage downfield. Ben Mason leading the way for the Wolverines. And the Falcons of Air Force are going to start deep in their own end here. Their first possession of the afternoon, and out comes Arion Worthman. The junior quarterback out of Normal, Illinois. Worthman, the only active FBS quarterback with 5 or more starts and no losses. 6-0 after taking over for Nate Romine last year at the starting quarterback spot. From the 17 on first down. Toss play to the outside, looking for room is Cleveland, and Cleveland hit hard as he gets to the sideline at the 22, popped by Josh Metellus after a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, that was a good hit. You could hear that all the way up here. Take a listen. Nice. Good clean hit. Ran half the field and brought all of it.
Talking with Don Brown, defensive coordinator of Michigan yesterday, said we've been working on that option since the spring. We worked on it in Rome. We worked on it in the spring. They've been getting ready for it. It's not an easy thing to prepare for. Short side option here, and Worthman takes it to the 33. A pickup of 3. Long and Winovich on the stop.
So let me tell you something a little bit about option football. So you can get in an option set and not run the option. There's a speed option where you just forget the dive and you just get right to the edge. There's that short field option like you just talked about. And then there's also the triple. Sometimes it's predetermined, they're just going to hand it off. They want to see how you're handling it. And then other times they run the full option. So as a defense, you must maintain discipline. It's imperative.
Harder to do with a group of young guys who've not seen it before?
Yeah, Donnie Brown's, he's played 5 games already before this game.
Worthman trying to find the edge. He won't get there. Well defended. David Long was the first man there coming up from the corner spot.
And he would be the pitch guy. And he would be the second pitch guy. He should really have 1.5 guys on everything. But this is what we're talking about with discipline. See Mo Hurst on the inside. You're forcing everything wide. You want that ball to be thrown to the outside, and then your corner has to tackle. Well done by Long.
You mentioned Michigan had played 4 games before this one. Don Brown was telling us they went through 263 snaps at practice on Tuesday and Wednesday combined. Just getting ready for this.
That's 4 games right there.
Peoples-Jones back on punt return after some issues a week ago. Makes a good, clean, fair catch at the 24.
Hear the crowd, they're cheering. He caught it.
They appreciate every aspect of football here at the Big House. They love a fair catch when they're up 3-0. Fall's coming, but it feels like summer right now in Ann Arbor. It is a warm day as Michigan starts its second offensive possession of the afternoon. Evans, the ball carrier. And Evans fumbles the football. Recovered by Air Force. Robert Bullard pounces on it at the Michigan 44.
Let's see if his knee was down or the ball was coming out before he hit.
Garrett Coppola's the guy who hit it.
Yeah, that is not in control as he's going to the ground. The ball starts to come out. Before that knee is, see, the ball's already coming out. They're going to call out a fumble.
Mike Pereira, our replay official, is busily taking notes if he's needed on that one, but they're not going to need to look at that one. That ball popping out, Air Force ball at the 44. Worthman thought about the pitch. He didn't have a lane to pitch, and he's down at the 42. Josh Metellus is there.
This is a young group. Metellus is another one of those young guys. First-year starter. He's really been playing. These first 2 games, he's played very well. He's showed up with a good attitude, and he has just been, wherever the ball is, this has been a fun young team to watch.
Second and 8, Worthman again. Fakes the pitch, and Worthman down to the 37 as we go down to Michelle McMahon.
In the inexperience of this Michigan defense, and Tyree Kennel told me before this, we're young, but we can hang with anyone. I asked him, where did that chip on their shoulder come from? He said a lot of it was from social media in the offseason. We heard people in the offseason after a 10-plus win season, and we wanted to play like we have a point to prove, guys.
A lot of first-time starters on both sides of the ball. 10 first-time starters on the defensive side. And that social media, will get you if you pay attention to it.
So will third down if they're not disciplined.
3rd and 3. Working up the middle, nowhere to go. Mike McCray. We showed you the new starters. There's the returning starter.
Yeah, and he read that perfectly. Look, in a triple option, and this was just going to be the dive, the first part of that option. And so it looks like they're going to stay and try to go for it here. But you have to handle that first. If you don't take away the first piece of it, it'll eat you alive. And they're going for it here on 4th down.
4th and 1, and it's a long one, Matt. The ball's not quite to the 35-yard line.
Let's see if they don't take Workman and get him on the edge. Give him an option. They've been running to that short side of the field.
Crowd making it hard on Arion Workman. Almost tripped up, fakes the pitch, leans forward. It's going to be close, but Metellus was there again, and I'm not sure he got enough on the lean to get the first.
It depends where it goes, right foot or left foot. I think they're going to give that a first down.
Air Force now 2 for 2 on 4th down this year.
They like that short side. See Metellus. Now see, you have Hill on the back 24. He would have had the pitch. Metellus came down to get the quarterback. When you have him, and when you start playing assignment football, once you see your guy, go get him. Don't wait. Hesitation, advantage offense.
Worthman got a block, and as he made his cut, a little slip, but a good gain on 1st down as we check out today's Auto Owners Insurance Impact players.
Well, Tim McVay's the guy that Worthman likes to get the ball in his hands, but Worthman's doing a nice job right now. Devin Bush really been playing well. Not a real big guy, very active and athletic. And Rashawn Gary, I don't know if there's a better one out there. He does things effortlessly.
6th straight run for Air Force, and Workman with a 1st down to the 22-yard line. 5 yards before Metellus could grab it, and Air Force doing what they do, moving the ball on the ground and moving the chains.
And they're doing a nice job of blocking up top. Watch Rashawn Gary. His job is to get up inside, and he can't get it done.
Good work by Air Force. Worthman with the pitch to
nice
McVay.
block.
And McVay to the sidelines, and a flag comes flying in at the end. Did they get a piece of the face mask of McVay on the side?
Yeah, it looked like they got it. Nice job of blocking on the top side to get that edge. Here's the end of that play, and you can see he got a full
Personal
grab.
foul, face mask. Defense number 10. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
So I guess a push as far as penalties are concerned now, as this one will move it inside 1st and goal to go range, put it right near where they were after the play prior.
So they like the short side over there, and they like the matchup that they're getting, blocking the way their alignment is. And so really what's going on in the back end, the safety's got to come down, and the corner, that has to be figured out, because right now they're not getting it.
1st down and goal for Air Force. Worthman, the pitch to McVay.
There it is.
And McVay buried as he gets to the edge by Levert Hill. Well defended all the way around.
Well defended because he worked off the block and held his leverage. He stayed outside. Now, if he stays outside, he has to get help from the inside to force it to him. That time, the strong safety came down really well and forced it wide. He's able to make the play and sets up this 2nd down.
Play selection, not a surprise. Air Force 9 rushes, no passes. 2nd and goal at the 6. Toss play, McVay. Nowhere to go. McVay buried at the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a half yard thanks to Brandon Watson and the rest of that Michigan D.
McVay probably can't outrun anybody on that defensive front. And that's fine. It doesn't mean he's a bad player. He's a good football player. But if you're going to turn it into a sprint to the sideline, that's something he's going to lose.
What do you do here? 3rd and goal at the 7.
Maybe play action. Right now, they'd be set up fine for play action. coming off that thing and getting a throw into the end zone.
Worthman. Nobody open. In trouble. Worthman is sacked back at the 20. Devin Bush tracked him down.
Don't like the play call at all. You're running the football, use the run part and run piece to your advantage. So turn it into a play action if you're going to throw. It gives you an extra blocker on top of it, plus they have to fight. It gives you advantage with your receivers down the field. He came off of it quickly to the left, and now here we are looking for a 37-yard field goal.
Luke Strable lining it up and putting it through, and this game is tied at 3 apiece. So each team gets into the red zone. Each team bogs down, although Air Force bogging down thanks to the 29th straight game with a sack for Michigan. Worthman to throw. Devin Bush says no. Knotted up at 3 apiece. 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter at the Big House. Still 1 yard deep. Out comes Crawford. Crawford upended at the 15-yard line. Good coverage by Air Force. Jeremy Fedulum on the stop as the quarter comes to an end here in Ann Arbor. It's been a fun start to this one. Air Force flying into Ann Arbor. They're knotted up 3 apiece with the 7th-ranked Wolverines. It is a 1st and 10 for Michigan from their own 15-yard line. Mosesai Fafita in now, Matt. Big 6'1", 320-pounder at the middle of that Air Force defensive line. Working against Patrick Kugler, the center. Toss play to Isaac on first down. The hole closing quickly thanks to Jack Floor. Boy, I thought for a minute that Isaac had a lot of room to run.
He did it. Floor filled. He closed it quickly. I mean, there was an opening there. Floor was coming laterally, and just that's what you're supposed to do. Get up there as a backer, fill that hole as quickly as you can. Really well done. This Air Force team, they're not giving you any kind of inches to move on. They're going to make you earn it.
Zach Gentry, the tight end, in motion. Speight to the edge with blockers for Peoples-Jones, and now speed. Finally catching up to him, Marquise Griffin, but Donovan Peoples-Jones, his first catch, turns into a big game.
Well, that's what this crowd's waiting for out of Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's a high recruit. He's got a lot of skills. They just want to see him put it all together. And this is part of what he brings. He's got a nice size to him. He's got good length to him. He's got great athleticism. He's got a big future.
37 yards. From the 47. Black fighting his way for extra yardage to the 39 of it. 2nd and 2 at the 39. Speight, late pressure, finds Gentry. Gentry loping down the sidelines and out of bounds at the 10.
That's on Wilton Speight because he got pressure. Not only did he get pressure, he had somebody coming clean on top of it. I think it was floor 50 right there. And he just took his time, set his feet, see his feet are set, ball's right where it has to be. And I like this Gentry kid. Former quarterback, 6'7". He's really turned into a nice player and going to be even better.
Tim Drevno said yesterday he reminds him of Kobe Fleener, but a better blocker than Kobe Fleener was at the same age. It's high praise from a guy who would know. First down and goal at the 9. Speight, pressure coming again, lofts it for the end zone, and that's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. That pressure coming from Jamel Sanders may have forced Speight to loft it a little too much.
Sanders, I mean, it's coming right in his face. You're going to see him. He's looking at it. Now, that's not easy to do, and he had to be accurate on top of it. Sanders knew he was going to lower the boom on him. Speight just stood there, settled himself, made the throw, lived for another down. Good decision by throwing it out of bounds.
How many times did Jim Harbaugh tell us yesterday, Speight will have a good game today? He was adamant about it. On 2nd and goal to give to McDoom.
Oh, nice.
Well defended. Really nice play by Garrett Coppola.
Yeah, Coppola comes out of that. He sees it the whole time. He can see the motion. He starts to fade down into inside the box. And then there's a lane you have to run. And when you make that decision to run that lane, you better be right. And he was.
Mentioned it earlier, but the red zone through the first trip in earlier today, just 1 touchdown in 7 red zone possessions. And another tough 3rd and goal from the 9.
They're bringing heat.
Speight under pressure.
Well done by Speight.
Floats it, and it's tipped by Marquise Griffin. What a play by the senior corner.
Phenomenal play by Griffin, because not only did he get the tip, but he covered the receiver. He covered the receiver and had the perfect timing to be able to get his hand back up and force this 4th down. Great play. That is a great play.
He was looking for Crawford, saw him at the last minute. But Marquise Griffin, playing bigger than 5'11", got the swat. And now a 26-yard try for Quinn Nordine. And the kick is good. Michigan back up by 3. 11:48 to go in the first half. Jim Harbaugh's team still looking for touchdowns, up by 3. Through these gates, you'll find the 7th-ranked team in the nation, the Michigan Wolverines, in a bit of a tussle with Air Force. 6-3 early in this 2nd quarter. One of the best settings in college football, though, and on a warm day, those little mist fountains are in high demand on both sides. Air Force trying to cool off after bending but not breaking. Michigan got down the field, but inside the red zone, the early season woes of punching it in reared up again for Michigan, settled for a field goal. And that kickoff into the end zone for the touchback. 1st and 10 at the 25 for the Air Force Academy. Worthman with blockers. And Worthman runs into Metellus again. Boy, is Josh Metellus everywhere today. Makes the stop at the 31.
And they're putting them outside. What they're doing now, in that set, they're taking their corners and they put them back where the safeties are. So they're the ones coming down. Metellus, he's got to be the guy who's going to be the physical guy. And he's not disappointed. He's throwing himself around, but hey, listen, it's 2nd and 3. So advantage Air Force.
Worthman again on the keep. Worthman got a block and has room to run. Worthman down the sideline, finally shoved out of bounds in Michigan territory at the 35.
Really nice read. Worthman does a nice job of watching Metellus. Watch Metellus is going to come up and he's backing up. Okay, you can't do that. He who hesitates gets beat in the option. Force the action. You know you have a corner on top of you. Worthman takes advantage of it. It's a big first down.
34-yard run for Arion Worthman. They had 19 runs of double digits in their opener. Granted, that was against VMI. A little stiffer competition today. They give to Parker Wilson, and well, you're not going to find much room up there. Is that a play, Matt, where you run it to keep that play honest, essentially, for the defense?
Yeah, so you're not saying, oh, they're not going to do this. So they, I don't know, Snake went through every now and then. And he has about 3 or 4 different ways of running that play. Sometimes it's behind the center, sometimes to the center side. It's interesting. Notice they've not been running at Rashawn Gary at all.
Running away from him again. Worthman with Winovich right there. Chops him down at the 35. Chase Winovich all over that one, and now 3rd and long. Luke Strable's long field goal a year ago was 48. As Worthman on 3rd and long keeps it to the edge and is dropped at the 33 by Bush.
Devin Bush is running around like a heat-seeking missile. Not a real big guy. He's maybe like 225, but he can fly. They keep him covered on the inside from sideline to sideline. You're going to see the number 10 involved in a lot of tackles. I think they got better at that position from a year ago.
Here's Strable. This is right in between 50 and 51. His 48-yarder last year was his long. Strable's kick, curving, but it is good. And Luke Strable knots it at 6 with a 50-yard bomb. And the Air Force is back even with Michigan.
You know what I love about the academies? They don't flinch about anything. They don't flinch about playing in the big house. They don't flinch about playing the Big Ten. They don't flinch about being out athleted. All they do is compete and make 50-yard field goals.
Strable was
kind of fun, isn't it?
No, it is. Strable was 9th in the nation last year in field goals, averaged almost 2 per game. He was 22 of 25, hit 22 straight at one point during last year. And a career 89% kicker bangs one in from 50 to tie it up.
And all they're doing, Michigan is doing right now, they're playing solid football, but they're giving confidence to a young Air Force team.
A little pooch kick. Brad Hawkins weaving around to the 30-yard line, and Hawkins down at the 31, and a flag in at the end of the play. Isaac the carry, and Isaac slips forward for a yard. Jack Floor, first guy to get there. Wednesday on a new Sports Light with Mike Hall. Mike gets some much-needed dance lessons from members of the Rutgers football team. Unbuttoned, unscripted, unfiltered. Not a good dancer. Sports Light with Mike Hall, Wednesday, 11 Eastern, right here on BTN.
There's a joke in there someplace.
Somewhere.
Don't leave it alone.
Hopefully it'll be Wednesday at 11 Eastern. This is where we'll find the joke. On Sports Light. 2nd and 9. Isaac again. Big hole. Nice patience. Isaac, first down.
You said it right, Kevin. Good runner's patience. He's not the fastest guy. That's the piece that you'd like to see be a little bit faster, but boy, to see a good runner's patience and good strength. So here's the first piece. Run with your eyes. Nicely done right there by Gentry at the block. And then again, right there. Redirect, pick up first down.
Tim Drevno said yesterday, he says, I like how he lets the play express itself.
Yeah, I heard that.
Before he makes a decision. McDoom in motion. McDoom gets the toss, a little juggle, but he got a block. McDoom trying to reverse his field, gets 9 to the 31.
That's smart, okay? That's smart, but that's a good call. Good coaching right there. So you want to get some consistency, give the short pass. Get some blockers out in front of him, let him do his thing, create second and short.
They started yelling doom when he went in motion.
Yeah.
Both teams have gotten into the red zone. They've not been able to punch it in. Michigan trying to draw a little confidence here late, going into the locker room. Ty Isaac, look at that hole. Isaac down inside the 25. Marquise Griffin on the stop. Next week, conference play will kick off for these Wolverines. They'll head to West Lafayette to battle the Boilermakers. Coverage beginning next Saturday, 4 Eastern, only on Fox.
Kevin, that time they caught him in a slant. Remember I talked about this earlier. Sometimes the slant gets you, sometimes you get the slant. That time they got the slant, picked up the first down, ran opposite of the way they were going.
Speight, blitz picked up. Speight running out of room.
Smart by Speight. Smart by Speight. Just live for another down. He was looking down the field up top to Crawford. He had him in the back of the end zone, but really good coverage. And because of that coverage, nowhere to go with the ball, he pulls it down.
Pretty good protection help from Ty Isaac because Kyle Floyd was coming from that backside, and Isaac stood in there and got the block.
Well, they brought some heat. They heated up a little bit. They had extra numbers at the line of scrimmage.
Does it surprise you as much as we've seen Air Force bring pressure today?
Yeah, here's what surprises me, that these corners are running with these receivers from Michigan.
2nd and 11. Pressure coming again. Speight is in trouble. And Speight trying to get rid of the football. It pops out. Recovered by Michigan. I think he was trying to throw it as he went down. The ball comes out, covered up on the play by Nick Eubanks.
But yet again, great coverage down the field. But watch Speight try to get out of this. He's going to try to avoid it. Eyes still down the field. Oh, that's the loose ball.
Bumped into Ulizio's leg.
Yep.
The arm motion went forward, but the ball was gone by the time it did that. That's a fumble, and Eubanks recovers at the 35.
That's an awesome picture.
Isn't that a great shot?
It's a great shot.
Isaac on 3rd and 21, down to the 31. He picks up 4. Jack Floor on the tackle. And Quinn Nordine going to try, I would guess, a long field goal here. Coming up at the half, Dave Howard and Jerry will get you caught up on a wild week 3. It's coming up next on the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Some weird scores early on in the day, as Michigan's just going to run this one down. 49-yard try for Quinn Nordine. Nordine's kick on the way, and that is good. Quinn Nordine developing into a nice weapon for Jim Harbaugh. 3 for 3 today. And the 7th-ranked Wolverines will take a 3-point lead into the locker room. This is the 2nd home game without a touchdown in the first half under Harbaugh. It came last year against Indiana, November 19th. They did not score a touchdown. Today, all field goals in this first half as well. And a 9-6 lead as the Air Force and Michigan all will head up that narrow tunnel towards their locker rooms. And a good ball game here on BTN. We're halfway home. Michigan with a 9-6 lead over the Air Force. Halftime here in Ann Arbor, and the Michigan faithful happy but not satisfied. A 9-6 lead over Air Force as we get set to start the second half. Alongside Matt Millen, I'm Kevin Kugler, and I think back to what Troy Calhoun told us the other day about Michigan. He said, look, if this team had just their defense and special teams, that alone would be good enough to be a bowl team. Well, we've seen that from Michigan today, their defense and special teams.
Yeah, and so we're still waiting for the offense, and everybody sitting in the stands here are saying, okay, they're going to get going. And so Ty Isaac starts off in the first quarter, first series, boom, there he goes, and it comes back. And what it ends up doing is putting it back on the defense and 3rd down. And on the 3rd down to this offense, that defense has been phenomenal.
And both
if they have
teams.
to run, if they have to run for it, or whether they've had to throw, the defensive have taken care of it.
2 teams combined 3 for 12 on 3rd down as we take a look at today's Quicken Loans quarterback comparison. Arion Workman has not thrown a pass in the first half. Wilton Speight, 7 of 12, 105 yards, lost 11 on the sack, but no passes thrown.
Okay, let me tell you this. I have been around football for 52 years. I have never seen that, ever.
Let's check in down on the field and find out what Michelle McMahon knows. Michelle?
Thanks, Kevin. I just caught up with Jim Harbaugh, who's surprisingly calm heading into the second half. I asked him, what was the first order of business in that locker room? To no one's surprise, he said the red zone offense. I said, what kind of advice did you give your offense? He said, play hard, play fast, and get out there and just play some football. On the other side, Troy Calhoun told me this team is playing great. He's surprised. He also told me that the only way that they're going to stay in this game is that if they hit a play-action pass.
Well, they've got to attempt the play-action pass before they hit the play-action pass. So far, no attempts today for Air Force, but they're right in this game, and they're getting the football to start the second half.
Yeah, Kev, I thought they wasted an opportunity for a perfect place for a play-action down on the goal line.
Fogues kickoff in the direction of McVay, and McVay will let it bounce into the end zone for the touchback. Three receivers for Air Force on first down. And the give to Parker Wilson, maybe a yard to the 26. Chase Winovich right there.
You know, they bring number 59, that Furbush kid, in. That is a versatile player. He's a fun player to watch. He can run,
he's figuring out how to play because they have him with his hand in the dirt sometimes. Sometimes he's a linebacker. Sometimes he's walking in and out of the line of scrimmage. He's a very versatile guy. Noah Furbush, that's a good player.
6'5", 240, runs in the high 4.6s. Speed and power on second down. Worthman with time to the air. Jump ball, and it's almost intercepted. It was deflected by Khalid Hudson. Josh Metellus came over to try to get it on the deflection as they aimed for Ronald Cleveland. Our first pass attempt of the day right here.
Well, and Cleveland, I mean, that ball kind of hung in the air. Hudson had a chance to make the pick. Got it up in the air. Metellus had a chance at it, but that's what I expected. One of the reasons they came, Michigan goes man, they're not running away from anybody, Air Force. And they know that, so they have to be able to run the football, but they have to stay out of third and long, which is where they're at right now.
Third down, a long 9. Worthman again with pressure coming. Worthman gets rid of the football, bounces at the 15-yard line. He had McVay in the general area.
There is no call for intentional grounding. Number 33 was in the area.
Well, they did bring some heat because they went man-to-man on the outside, so you're going to gain an extra guy. So when they did that, they just kind of overpowered that offensive line. Third and long, Kevin, is not where Air Force can't survive there.
What a start for that Michigan defense. Stuffed the run by Wilson on first. 2 incompletions later, and a punt for Air Force. Scott to punt it to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Good punt. Driving Peoples-Jones back to the 22. Has some room at the 30. Peoples-Jones to the 40. Looping to midfield. Peoples-Jones looking for one more angle. He's got the sideline. Tiptoes in for the touchdown. Return game for Donovan Peoples-Jones. Did he stay in bounds?
He's in bounds there. He's in bounds there. And he's in the end zone there.
The freshman was pulled out of the punt return game, inserted back in today. And the youngster with an explosion early at Michigan Stadium in the third. 16-6. Wolverines with the lead.
Well, they gave him some room to the left side. Then his eyes saw the right side. And then it was just speed. This is what this Michigan crowd's been waiting for. A big play by Peoples-Jones, and he delivered.
One of the happiest people in the building right now, Donovan Peoples-Jones. 79-yard punt return for a touchdown to light a fire here in the big house and spark a Michigan offense and a Michigan squad that had been scuffling a little bit, now up 16-6. And what a return, and what a way to get your first career touchdown. And now back to work for Air Force at the 25. And back up the middle, finding a little running room this time. To the 31-yard line goes Parker Wilson before Maurice Hurst can bring him down, a pickup of 6.
They've got to, so there's a win for them on first down. That's where they have to be. Now a win on second down would be 3 yards or another first down. But they've got to stay out of 3rd and 7+ or 3rd and 6+ because their passing game is anemic.
Worthman on the keep, and Worthman tripped up as he tried to get to the edge by Mike McCray. Now a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, Mo Hurst also on the bottom of that pile doing his job, but he's supposed to. 3rd and 3 is manageable. That's where you want to be for Air Force. But now you still have the run game involved, and if you are going to throw, it can be a run-pass option.
fakes the pitch, has the first down. Air Force now over 100 yards rushing on the day with that carry. 115th straight game that Air Force has gone over the century mark rushing. Army and Air Force both came into today with the longest streak in the FBS at 114 each.
Well, Army will be tested this afternoon playing Ohio State University after a loss.
Good luck. First conversion on third down today for Air Force. Worthman gonna throw over the middle. He's got Cleveland. And Cleveland trying to turn on the speed. Inside the 20. Cleveland into the end zone for the touchdown.
Get to the inside. The inside where there's no safety in the middle of the field. Kennel just got beat. And then it's just a sprint. And then beat the angle. And that's exactly what he did. And it's 6 quick. Wow, they got into that really fast.
64-yard touchdown pass. And Air Force right back in it. The career-long catch for Cleveland and the longest play of the year for Air Force. Good throw by Worthman. And then Ronald Cleveland, whose mom is a Michigan alum. She's cheering for the Air Force today. Air Force hanging around, down just 3. It's been since 1995 that Air Force beat a top 10 team. They beat Notre Dame that year 20-17 on the road. They're within 3 third quarter at Michigan Stadium after a 64-yard touchdown pass.
Tell you what, Arian Worthman did a great job on that last play.
Crawford looking for a little bit of running room. He won't find any. Stopped short of the 20-yard line by James Jones, the 4th. But excellent field position now for Michigan and Ty Isaac, who's tripped up at the 40-yard line by Marquise Griffin. And if Griffin doesn't get Isaac down, Isaac's still got some room on the sideline.
Yeah, but he did, and that's the big deal. And so right now, this Michigan offense is stumbling. And this Air Force defense, while being, out physicaled and all those things, they're right in the middle of it. And this second and long, they got to get them to third and long.
Speight with protection, nobody open. Speight with room to run, and Wilton Speight's got a first down.
Smart by Speight. Okay, no place to run. Let me use my feet. He is athletic, and he can do that. And so I think the more he does that, the better off they are.
8-yard gain for Speight, and now Michigan going a little faster to the line. Higdon, Speight looking to the sideline. Perry is open, and Perry is out at the 8, first and goal.
That's all on Speight. He was taking pressure too, coming right up the middle. I think it was Ross, 44. They bring a blitz. He's standing right in the middle of it. Ross does a nice job by breaking that thing off, knowing where the sticks are. He's got the separation out of his break. Really well done. Our guy Poji's in there, number 19. Keep your eye on him. He's been knocking some helmets around today.
Higdon on the carry. And Higdon didn't find much room there. To the 7-yard line, Mosesai Fafita. Big nose at 6'1", 320, the sophomore from Everett, Washington, in there on the stop. Third trip now to the red zone. You see the numbers. 1 touchdown this year in 8 red zone possessions overall. They've, of course, not scored in the red zone from a touchdown standpoint today.
So from the Michigan point of view, use Wilton Speight's legs. Create some room for yourself. And time.
Perry in motion. Speight. Look at the Perry. Has the catch.
Great tackle.
What a play. Closed immediately to Shaquille Wolverine. He's had a game today, too.
He has played well. Now, he closed that thing fast on Perry. Perry's ready to turn that up, and he's excellent with the ball in his hands. So what do? Get him as quickly as you can and set up this third down. Jim knows it, too. Big down right here. So this is where the speed of your receivers are negated because you have a short field unless you can run a crossing route.
3rd and goal from the 8.
Bringing a blitz.
And Isaac is pounded.
Right into it, Kevin.
Vereen again.
They didn't see the blitz. It was Vereen off the side. You got to see that. He came clean. He showed it. Right into the middle of it. You got to get out of that.
3-yard loss, and the red zone bites Michigan again.
You can see him up top coming. You have time. Redirect, stop. And even if Green doesn't get there, he had penetration on the inside too.
Boy, you could really see frustration from Wilton Speight at the end of that play.
Darby did a great job on the inside of getting penetration.
29-yard try for Quinn Nordine is good. He's 4 for 4 today. But Air Force is really fired up, and Wilton Speight is frustrated. Michigan's lead is 6. 2:59 to go in the 3rd, and Michigan, after a terrific defensive stand from Air Force, settles for a 4th field goal today from Quinn Nordine, and back to work coaching the quarterbacks and the offense right now for Michigan. Their lead is just 6. Kevin Kugler alongside Matt Millen with Michelle McMahon on the sidelines. Our entire BTN crew here on a warm Saturday afternoon in Ann Arbor. McVay from the 3. McVay upended shy of the 20-yard line.
This is tough position for Air Force to get out of.
1st and 19. Little end around play for McVay. McVay trying to find room, none there. Lavert Hill gets the tackle, but Tyree Kennel really did a good job blowing that play up.
Yeah, he changed the whole thing. He missed it initially, but he made the play. Initially, that looked like it had some green there. And had that block been able to be gotten on Kennel, he might still be running.
2nd down and 18 at the 11. Protection this time for Worthman, floating in a little bit too tall for Gerard Sanders. Well covered. Brandon Watson running stride for stride.
So like we said earlier, Naz is going to set up a 3rd and long. And so what do you have in that playbook to be able to get out of 3rd and whatever this is? What is it? 19, 18, 18. So you just want to get part of it back.
The field has definitely tilted in Michigan's favor late in this 3rd quarter. Worthman and McCray there swooping in from behind to make the tackle shy of the 18-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down, a little extra room for Air Force to punt it away as Donovan Peoples-Jones will jog onto the field, try to spark Michigan again with a big return. Charlie Scott, his brother J.K. Scott, is the punter at Alabama. And a really good one. Finalist for the Ray Guy Award a year ago.
Well, he had a big kick 2 kicks ago, and it hurt them.
Another big kick here, driving Peoples-Jones back to the 29. Trying to get to the edge again, got a block. And Peoples-Jones nudged out of bounds in Air Force territory. Jacob Stafford with the stop. When Charlie Scott punts well, it usually means bad things in the return game. Ty Isaac. And Isaac a yard to the 45. Jack Floor there again as we check in with Michelle.
Thanks, Kevin. Wilton Speight looking lost and frustrated as he headed to the sideline after that first offensive drive. He felt defeated, and he got off the phone with Pep Hamilton. Looked a little bit more relieved, and then John O'Korn chipped in, giving his advice on what to do the next time this offense takes the field. So it's nice to see that support on the sideline here, guys.
On 2nd and 9, Isaac again, and Isaac with a hole. A little high step, breaks the tackle. Isaac in, out of bounds. They stepped out of bounds at the 1 and a flag down back at the 20-yard line.
Holding. Offense number 1. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The result of the play is a 1st down.
That's the second long run that's taken away from Ty Isaac.
He had one where he stepped out at about the 30 on what looked like a touchdown.
Well, let's watch Crawford here. Now he's going to come and he's got to try to get to the inside. So he's so what they're saying. So they see the hand on the top. So it looks like it's going to be basically a tackle. There wasn't really a hold, but
I know we had debating officials at the end of that. I think that was a touchdown. Either way, now it's 1st and 10 at the 29. Black on the quick screen. And Black twisted down near the 22-yard line. Griffin and Floor combine on the stop.
Yeah, you said Floor's name yet again. He's had a terrific game here today. He's been sideline to sideline. They've blitzed him. He's played a great all-around football game.
Toss play, Higdon. Higdon able to break one tackle and a second, and he's close to the first down. He's going to be about a yard shy. Although that spot came in awfully good, we'll see. It is a first down. Got an excellent spot, and it's a first down at the 19. And that is the end of the third quarter of play. We have played 3 quarters here in Ann Arbor. The Michigan Wolverines enjoying the 6-point lead, looking for more when we start the fourth. He started the year with back-to-back 100-yard games, 90 yards rushing today, but Ty Isaac getting a little attention on the bench from the athletic training staff as we start this fourth quarter of play. Michigan up by 6, 19 to 13 as we start the fourth quarter. Speight off play action for the end zone, a little too far for Eddie McDoom, who just popped open late.
And with the play action, you know, they're playing man coverage, but they're playing it off. So they're not really at the line of scrimmage where you're seeing like bump and run. So inside the red zone, when you're playing this type of coverage, it kind of negates the speed unless you run crossing routes. Then you can run away from your coverage.
2nd down and 10. Karan Higdon with the carry. And again, Marquise Griffin into the backfield at 3rd and 10 now. If you're Michigan and you're in the red zone again, what do you do now?
It's a huge 3rd down. They've got to be able, obviously you have to be able to convert, but you're going to have to go to your passing game. You have to protect. The biggest thing, you got Griffin coming off the corner again. You've got to see that. You can't let him come clean.
Pressure coming. Speight looking for Black. A little too far, and it's 4th down. And again, the red zone proves to be a fruitless endeavor as far as touchdowns go for Michigan.
Hey, but good coverage down there. And again, it's our guy Griffin. Griffin's had himself a terrific game, hasn't he? He has played exceptionally well. And this defense for Air Force has played with great discipline. They do not beat themselves.
Chance to tie a single game school record with this field goal try here. Nordin's kick up, and it is good. Quinn Nordin has now tied the Michigan record. It is 5 field goals for Nordin, and Michigan's lead stretches to 9, 22 to 13.
But when they get the chance, they have to be able to take it. And so you have to get at least, you have to get a field goal on one of them, and then you have to work for 7 for the other one. So can it be done? Yeah, absolutely can be done. But their defense is going to have to come through for them in the interim.
Fogues kick off. McVay at the 3. And McVay buried at the 15. Worthman just going to tuck it, try to bowl over Devin Bush. Not always an easy task, but he gets 5.
Well, Bush makes a tackle, but it's a +5. You'll take that every time.
Mike Thiessen, the offensive coordinator for Air Force, he told us about the kind of runner Worthman is. He said he's a good runner, but the best thing he does is his leadership. We know he's going to get us in the right play, and he audibled into that play there to pick up 5. Toss to McVay with blockers. A flag comes in as McVay is tripped up just shy of the 24 by Devin Bush.
That was at the feet of Winovich. I think he drew. The guy blocking him.
No, Air Force is clapping.
Holding. Defense, number 15. 10-yard penalty added on to the end of the run. First down.
That's why I didn't finish the sentence.
You knew Winovich was there.
Quite sure. Yeah, so Winovich is going to get blocked, and so he's figuring, hey, if I'm going down, you're going down.
J.C. Rast went down.
Oh, Rast went down like a big old Rast.
Penalty puts the ball at the 34-yard line.
What is a big old Rast?
I don't know, but it sounded right.
First down for Air Force at their 44-yard line.
Okay, they have to get points out of this drive.
Short side again for Worthman and nowhere to go.
That's completely on Winovich. Winovich did a phenomenal job. He ends up making a tackle, but he did a phenomenal job with the blocker and throwing him in the backfield, and threw him basically at the quarterback. Winovich has had himself a nice game again here today. A couple sacks, I believe, one for sure, I remember. But he's high effort guy, great motor.
That timeout was called from the sideline by defensive coordinator Don Brown.
Oh, he was hot.
Toss play to McVay. He's got the corner. And McVay with a first down and more. Finally brought down at the Michigan 32. Noah Furbush among several that were there, but Tim McVay with a burst to the edge. What about this blocking?
That's the whole key. See the top side, they just did an excellent job of securing the edge. And then McVay he just doesn't stop. Not the fastest guy. If he had another step, he might still be going.
Need points out of this drive if you're the Falcons.
Absolutely.
Toss play.
Same thing.
Cleveland. And Cleveland gets pounded by Jamarick Woods.
Devin Bush right there also. But, Kip, they're securing the edge. They're securing the edge and getting to the corner right away. It's a really nice job. It looks like it might be 86, that Brian Riffett. Riffett has been killing the edge here and allowing them to get some significant runs.
9th play of the drive, 2nd down and 1, and it's the big man Parker Wilson stumbling near the first down at the 22.
It's going to be close.
Carlo Kemp at the bottom of that pile got a ankle.
Not real short.
So now a really big 3rd down and short for Air Force.
I've talked about before, low man wins. And now here comes assignment football. Same thing. Oh, they loaded up that top right side.
2 for 10 on 3rd down today. Wilson again with the carry, and Wilson met by Bush, but not before he got the first down.
They just outnumbered you to the top right side. Yeah, this is a good drive by Air Force. This is the time of the game when Air Force is supposed to be tired.
Worthman gives again to Wilson, and Wilson leans to the 15 in the arms of Mike McCray.
It's a good group.
From the 15, it's 2nd and 4. Worthman will keep. He's got the first down out of bounds at the 10.
Now, Kev, this is a smaller offensive line, right? But I want you to watch the line of scrimmage. Which way is it going? It's going backwards. They are beating Michigan at the line of scrimmage.
Did you expect to say that sentence today?
Especially in the 4th quarter. 9 minutes left to go in this game. They are taking it to Michigan.
1st and goal at the 9. The red zone has not been kind to either team today as far as touchdowns are concerned. Michigan needs a big stop. Worthman And Worthman hit at the 6, and down there, Kalik Hudson providing the tackle.
Noah Furbush down there in the middle of that also. Hey, so here's the deal. So they know they can't handle their inside guys, Maurice Hurst. They knew that. They talked about that. So what have they done? They've attacked the edge the whole time. The entire time, and they're making the secondary and the second-level players have to be active tacklers.
Second down and goal. That's McVay in motion, who gets it on the toss. McVay in some trouble, and McVay is going to lose big yardage. Lavert Hill shrugged off the block like it wasn't there and drove him out of bounds.
That's on McVay. He tried to use speed, which he doesn't have, to get to the outside. He should have had a little runner's patience and come back underneath that because his blockers were out in front of him. Instead, he tried to turn the corner, and he couldn't. He can't outrun these guys in his defense. You have to be able to use that runner's patience in your vision, and now you have 3rd and goal.
Loss of 7, and it's 3rd and goal from the 12.
So I'm going play action here. Use the run game to draw them in, and hopefully you get someone down. Michigan should lock up man because nobody should be able to run away from them. Here's your play action.
Worthman chased by Hurst. Has to throw it away.
Nowhere to go, Kev.
Worthman saving the yardage for the field goal. And on comes the field goal unit.
But the coverage was right there. So you were trying to use the play action to try to gain a little bit of maybe a step or something if they would bite, but they didn't. They stayed on their coverage and sets up this field goal. This turns it into a 1-score game.
Strable, 29-yard try. And Strable's kick is no good. He missed it wide to the left, and it stays a 2-score game. Troy Calhoun was upset not with the miss, but with the play before. When Arion Worthman went out of bounds, he thought there should have been a roughing the passer call. It didn't come. Still a 9-point game.
That's a pretty good look right there.
Good look there, too. Packed house again here in Ann Arbor. They've seen a good one, although a missed field goal may have taken one of the best chances for Air Force to get back into this one out.
And, of course, Air Force is going to crowd the line of scrimmage and make them run at 9 people.
Higdon tried to pick his way to that outside. He got 3. Garrett Coppola in there to make the stop.
Glid Hill, he and Poggi, both of those guys have been getting some huge hits on linebackers today. And I mean, I'm seeing it. It's not really benefiting them because they haven't been gaining much yardage off those inside plays.
McDoom, the motion man on 2nd down. Higdon to carry. Higdon into the arms of Jack Floor. And when you talk about guys who have had days, Jack Floor, the senior of the state of Washington, is going to be tired tonight because he has worked his tail off out there. What a day he's had.
He's had a phenomenal day. And sideline to sideline, inside, outside. He's been in coverage. They've used him on blitzes. He's played an exceptional game.
Well, if you're Steve Russ, Air Force's defensive coordinator, who was a Wisconsin native and wanted to be a Badger, ended up going to Air Force. And if you're him right now, you're feeling real good about this young defense moving forward.
Yeah, they'll feel even better if he gets off on this 3rd down. Here he comes with some heat.
Toss to the sideline. Good throw. Good catch. Tariq Black fighting for extra yardage into Air Force territory and down at the 43.
Okay, this is excellent job of protection.
Number 50, Air Force has to go for one play because of helmet off.
I want you to watch Higdon right down here. So he's got to make a decision. Get 1 and then 2. That is really well done. They had an extra number. He knocked the helmet off and then was able to go in. Watch him. 1 from floor and then get right into the other one. That's really well done. Allowed Speight to be able to pick up that first.
How about Karan Higdon with the block?
Yeah.
Floors on the sidelines because he lost his helmet. which looks even cooler when we do it in that slow-mo. Now Speight using that clock. Play clock at 3 when he takes the snap, gives to Higdon. And Karan Higdon to the 40-yard line, and a timeout will be utilized by Air Force. They have 1 remaining. 2:38 to go, 2nd and 7 at the Air Force 40.
But Kevin, still what we talked about at the start of the game, the inconsistency, is still here.
And the red zone woes have continued for Michigan today. No offensive touchdowns for the Wolverines. Toss play to Evans. Evans trying to change it as he pops out. There goes the helmet of Floor again.
I just don't think he likes his helmet.
He's losing his head about this game. It's a first down, and Floor will be on the sideline again. We mentioned the red zone, and this is something that was a point of consternation for Michigan fans all week long. 4 red zone possessions today, no touchdowns, 1 out of 10 this year. And Jim Harbaugh will be the first to say that's got to change when they get into conference play. Because that won't cut it. Not against the Big Ten. Penetration, and Evans is down. There's Grant Ross. And a timeout will be utilized. The final Air Force timeout with 1:53 to play. Will step aside for that 30-second timeout as well. Back in 30.
John Runyon, old John Runyon, who played in the NFL for a long time. His son's playing here in that right guard spot where Onyu was.
2nd down and 18 at the 38. Higdon with the carry. And Higdon
good hit.
Dropped again. This time it's Garrett Coppola knifing in. And you know they're going to run. Filling from that secondary, and Coppola makes a good tackle. But 140 and counting, and Air Force can't stop the clock.
Yeah, that's going to be all she wrote. But I got to tell you, this Air Force football team is a good football team. It's a good defense. It didn't get worn out. It got stronger as the game went on, had more confidence. They need a passing game. That's what they need.
They've yet to allow a touchdown from an offensive team this year in their 2 games. 3rd and 16 at the 36. Higdon again the carry, and Higdon to the corner. What did I say about an offensive touchdown? Erase that stat. Higdon in to cap it for Michigan.
Kevin, they loaded up the middle on the inside, and his eyes took him to the outside. And a nice block by John Runyon.
And a touchdown for Karan Higdon to put the cherry on top of Michigan's 3rd win of the year. Nordine with the extra point. And the Wolverines lead it by 16, 29-13. Air Force had clawed the middle. Higdon found plenty of room on the outside and used his great speed to get in for the touchdown. Michigan by 16 at home. Through the end zone for the touchback. Air Force with 1:02 to go. And there's the coaches we were talking about. 3 schools: Air Force, Florida State, and Iowa. The only 3 FBS schools to have just 2 head coaches since 1984. Some remarkable consistency in an era of inconsistency at the head coaching spot.
Well, they hit them right. I mean, look at those names. Those guys all know really good coaches and well-coached teams.
From the 40 on first down, Romine under pressure going to run. And Romine has the first down into Michigan territory. He was a starter before getting injured last year. Nate Romine, probably the little better passing quarterback of the 2. But has been a starter a couple of different times in his Air Force career, the senior out of Upland, California.
Well, they need some throwing here.
the 48-yard line. Romine over the middle, incomplete at the foot of Ryan Riffett. Clock will stop with 27 seconds to go.
Just looked up and I saw a Big Ten score go through, and it was Northern Illinois up on Nebraska.
In
3
Lincoln.
minutes to go.
That will unsettle folks to the west of here. Michigan now up comfortably by 16. Low snap to Romine. That allows some pressure to leak in. Romine back to the middle of the field, and that one is going to be intercepted by Khaleke Hudson. He's had a couple of chances at a pick today. He finally gets his interception to end it as the Michigan defense gets the stop with 19 seconds to go.
Romine just threw up a lollipop. That wasn't it. He just threw it up for anybody. Unfortunately, Hudson was the guy to bring it down.
So Michigan is going to hang on after a real battle today with the Air Force Academy. The only turnover of the day for Air Force comes at that moment, which is not particularly significant when you consider the score. And the knee is taken by Wilton Speight, and that will be that. Plenty to talk about, though, if you're Coach Harbaugh and his offense going forward after this one, as Big Ten play begins next week for Michigan.
Well, they'll talk about the inconsistency, but really, this inconsistency lies in the details, Kevin. And so, yes, is it a young team? Yes, it's a young team. And are they prone to inconsistent play? Yes, they are. But the defense is clearly ahead of the offense. And having said that, you can hear a collective sigh of relief knowing they're not going to be playing any option teams soon. So they're happy about that. But this offense, they're a tick off. They still have a lot of work to do.
They got a real challenge today from the Air Force Academy. But Air Force falls a little bit short of this one, 29-13. That'll do it from here in Michigan Stadium. With that final score, 29-13, coming up, you'll either see Middle Tennessee at Minnesota or Morgan State at Rutgers. Now, for Matt Millen and Michelle McMahon, I'm Kevin Kugler saying so long from Ann Arbor. Coming up, a Big Ten BTN game break. So long from Ann Arbor.